going back to the users link and moving down the list, we'll come to the extended user fields. So basically, when people are registering on your website, they have to enter some fields, of course, like their name and emails and everything else. Basically, you would use this link here and this option to actually set up some additional or extended user fields. Okay, at the moment, as you can see, I have no records here, and basically this is the table which will give you the name of that particular field, the label, the preview, the category, whether or not it's required, who is this applicable to, read access, write access, and the action. So basically I do not have any of that, and to add some, I would either go to add new field or add custom field. Okay, let's go into add new field. In the add new field, I will have a bunch of fields which are pre-written. So this is done by the e107 itself, and basically I can use any of these fields as I would like. So basically there's the name. So let's go, for example, this is birthday, so this field is called birthday, the label is birthday, the preview, if you click here you'll get this little calendar like so, and this is the type, so this is database field, and if I hit on activate, this will now activate my field called, sorry, this one here, this will actually activate my birthday field, and this is not a database field, it's actually date, so the type is date rather than database field. For the database field we are talking about the country. So once again, if I'm to use the birthday extended user field, the label would be birthday, this is what it would look like, and the type would be date, and basically I can do that by hitting on the activate button here. So before you actually go and add custom fields, I strongly suggest you go through all of the available fields here, and if the field you're trying to add is not present, go and hit on the add custom field. But before we do that, I'll actually go into the categories, and basically here you would enter a new category. Once again, there's a list. At the moment I do not have any categories here, and to add a category I have to fill in some information. I have to give my category a name and a label. I have to say who is this applicable to, who can have the read access and who can have the write access. Now make sure when you actually going into the read and write access, if you select the read only, and you see that information here as well, this will only be available for the administrators. So if this is not something that you would like to do, you will actually go and select whoever you would like from this group of people. Okay, and once you are happy with everything, how everything is done here, you would hit on add category. Now let's go to the add custom field. And the reason why I said it's important to add some categories is because these categories is going to be required here. Okay, in the extended user fields, add a custom field. First of all, we would enter a field name, then we would enter some field text, and then we'll select the field type. So we can either go with the radio button, drop down menu, database, table field, text area, integer, date, language, predefined list, or checkbox. Then we will enter some values here, and this is the value which is going to be either seen by everyone or not seen by everyone, and that's actually in this section here where you actually have the read access and the write access. Okay, so that's the value you would enter right here, and you can add a new value by clicking on this button here. You enter the default value in the field below. Now you can enter some information here. So field includes text, this is something to be included with this field, and then we come to the regex validation code, and you will enter the code here, and the failure to actually enter the text you would put here. Category, we will select the category, and this is the previous step which we have looked at. So adding a category, once you have added a category, that will actually be displayed here, and you can actually select that category, or you can actually add many categories and then select the category you would like this field to be applied to. Required, whether or not this field is required. So if we're actually talking about the sign in page, the registration page, and if we're talking for example about the gender, whether or not you would like your soon-to-be members to actually specify their gender while they're actually going through the registration process. Okay, once again we have the read access, the write access, and actually allow users to hide. So basically allow users to hide, what this means is if you set this to no, it means that any member can actually see other members information. So for this particular field, so for example if we're talking here about let's say that we're talking about their country. So if this field is to specify which country this person who is actually registering is from, and we would like everyone else to see that this person is, from example, from England, we would select no. If we select yes, this will actually mean that only admin people can actually see that this particular member is from England. Alright, moving all the way to the top, the next option we'll look at under users menu is the mail. This is all to do with the emails being sent to your members. Once again, first of all is the manage section, and there's a table there, and I have no records as I do not have any emails pending or sent out and everything else. So the next option under the manage is create. So this is where you would create your email, and this is the recipient, so who is receiving the emails. The next section here is divided into the pending mail shots, held mail shots, and completed mail shots. And the last section there is to do with the preferences, maintenance, and template previews. So basically there are three sections here. The very first section is to do with creating the emails and adding recipients. Then we have something I like to call the status, and they call it the mail shots. Basically the pending mails, the held mails, and the completed. And then we have some general preferences, maintenance, and templates. Alright, so to create an email you would hit on create, and a new page will show up like this. Basically this is divided into two sections. There is the basic and the advanced tabs. Here you can see that the very first section right at the top is who this email is being sent to, the title of the email, who is sending it, ID, which can be your email, the subject of the email itself, the format, and you have options to actually embed some media here, and there is the body of the actual text itself. Alright, so let's go now and see all the fields here. So user type, which user type or user group, most of the time you will find user type written inside of the user group, and you will select the user group here from the drop down menu. Then you have the user match and the last time that people have visited your web page, and you can select from the drop down menu before, equal to, and after. And here if you click, you get a calendar like this. So basically we're selecting a user type, and we're saying I do not want everyone to receive this email, but only people who have, for example, visited my web page before certain date. Alright, in the next section, the title, which is straightforward. You enter the title of the email, the sender name, so admin or whatever you would like to call yourself or whoever is actually sending this email, and the ID, which can be the email itself. We have the subject, the send format. We can go with text and HTML, and take a note that there's some templates here. So there's the default, sign up, notify, monthly update, and what's new. And once again we can actually enter some media here as well. Okay, so let's go now and explore those templates, and so we'll jump right at the bottom. So there's the template preview, and here you can actually find some previews of pre-existing templates which you can use to actually send out. There's the default one, there's the sign up, the quick add user, notify, monthly, what's new, and the example. I think that those titles are pretty straightforward. This is the default, and for example if you want you can go into the sign up, and basically this is the email or the template which can be used to send to your newly signed up members. Okay, so if I was to go into the create once again, and if I go all the way down here, and I can select sign up, and basically I can enter the information here which will be displayed right here. Okay, so that's actually how you would go about creating a new email which is to be sent to some members of your community, if you would like, or the people who actually coming and visiting your page. In the advanced section, but basically what this is you can actually select a copy to, which actually means you'll be sending a copy to this particular email address. So you can actually send set this to, for example, some sort of an email address where you would like to keep all of your emails which you have sent out. There's also the blind copy. So what this means is this is the email you would enter here would actually be receiving this email, but all the other recipients will not see this as being sent to this particular email address. Mail out status, you can either select pending, saved, held, sent, bounced, cancelled, partial, failed, max active, or temp. Alright, then we have the attachments to attach some files, whether or not you would like to do that, and the include image option here. Okay, in the recipient section you actually find all the information about your recipients. Now I have no records here, and therefore I do not have anyone displayed. So basically, when somebody joins your online community, if you like, when they register, their information will be displayed here, and basically you can play around with their information. So just to know, there is the recipient reference, so this will be their sort of a user login. There's their name, there's the email status, which is actually referring to the status of this particular email address or the actual user, so whether or not it's been verified or something like that. Mail ref and the options here as well. Okay, let's move into the pending mail shots. And basically, pending mail shots means something that's not being sent, but it's almost ready to be sent. So everything has been done, and now we're just waiting for something, and after that we can actually hit and send this. Also, a good thing here is that you can actually select a date on which this is to be sent. So everything has been done with this email, and we're just waiting for the right date when this email is to be sent out. There's some options here, and once again I do not have any records, but basically mail ref, so this is the reference to the mail. There's a title, subject, total recipients, so how many people are going to receive this, mail sent, mails to go, if there's any errors, and if it's been bounced, and the options. Now bounced means if you send an email and the recipient has not received it for some reason, it's actually been bounced back, and therefore it's actually recorded here as well. Now held mail shots is actually something that once again has not been sent, and it's actually waiting for some changes or something like that, and after that it's actually moving into the pending mail shots, where it will actually be waiting for the right time to be sent out. So basically you can think of those two is the two queues. You have the held mail shots, or the held queue, where everything is held before it's being sent out, and you have the pending mail shots, where, or the pending queue, where actually everything has actually been done and it's just waiting to be sent out. Completed mail shots is pretty straightforward, and basically it will give you a list of all the completed or sent emails. Okay, so moving into the preferences. Under preferences we'll find some options. First of all is to send test email, so basically you will send a text email to yourself, and you can select the type of the email you would like to send yourself, from the text only to actual templates, which I have actually spoken about. Then there is the email address sources. Basically you can use some of the plugins available here to actually get some users or the email addresses. By the default there's only two, users and user, and you can actually select both of those or just one of those, and if you do not select any, it's not going to actually send, it's not going to use any of these pre-installed plugins if you like to get the email addresses. The next option there is the emailing method, PHP, send mail, or SMTP. Default email format, once again we'll come to these available options like templates and whether or not to include the theme and whatnot. Bulk mailing control. Basically what this is to avoid spamming or flooding, and what you can set here is actually the time before a group of email is being sent. So pause bulk emailing or mailing every 3 emails for 4 seconds. So what this actually means is going to send 3 emails. So if you for example have 100 recipients, it's going to send 3 emails to 3 recipients, then it's going to wait for 4 seconds and then send another 3 emails and send those emails in lots like that with the actual 4 seconds break. And once again this is to avoid flooding and actually overloading your server. You can actually set up the maximum number of emails to send per schedule tick, and from 5 you can actually go and increase or decrease that number. Okay, then there is the logging, mail shot logging, no logging. You can go logging only, no send, log and send, and you have the logging option only with errors here. Include email info in log as well, so you can check that there. Now bounced emails. This is something that I have mentioned just before, and the option here you have is none, basically meaning that if an email has not reached its recipient, there is nothing to actually notify you. There's no method to notify you of that particular action, or you can actually use something that's called auto process script, and if you do that, you will enter the email address here, and the option here, the last option, is the most preferable one, is the mail account. And basically, if this does happen, if the email you have sent to for example, John Smith has not reached John Smith, you would enter the email address here, you would enter the incoming mail server and all the other options and information or details in here, and once John Smith has not actually received or read your email, you would actually get some information on this particular email account. In the maintenance section, we have only one option, is to actually tidy up the database tables. Okay, in the template review, we have actually gone through this, and there's not quite a lot, but there's a few templates here that are usually being used. For example, for newsletters, you would actually use the what's new, and for quick add user, which we have seen before, is this template here, and for the sign up you would use something like this. Okay, so that's pretty much all on the emails that you send to your customers.